Hello my dear students, welcome to my video lecture class. Right up to now I uploaded video lectures on the topic mechanical properties of solids. In this topic I already explained stress, types of stress, strain, types of strain, intermolecular force and distance diagram, potential energy and distance diagram. So these are all topics I discussed in previous lectures, and also I discussed Young's modulus and its applications, rigidity modulus and its application. These are all things I discussed in last lectures. Please watch the previous lectures for better understanding. Today I am going to start the most important topic in this chapter, properties of solids. So let's begin our topic. So our chapter is mechanical properties of solid. In this I am going to start third type of modulus of elasticity, that is bulk modulus or volume modulus. Bulk modulus or volume modulus. What is the definition of bulk modulus and how we are to denote this bulk modulus? So the definition of bulk modulus is the ratio between volume stress to the volume strain. The ratio between volume stress to the volume strain is called bulk modulus. It is denoted by K. So now bulk modulus denoted by K is equal to volume stress by volume strain. So this is a mathematical formula, volume stress by volume strain. How can we denote bulk modulus? K is equal to bulk modulus K is equal to volume stress means force by area, volume strain means change in volume by original volume. This is indicated with minus here, and again it should be written as this volume stress is equal to written as pressure P minus delta V by V. Okay, so this is the formula of K. K is equal to P by minus delta V by V. Here P means pressure, negative sign indicates if pressure increases, then volume decreases. Okay, so this is about bulk modulus definition formula. Okay, so what is the definition of bulk modulus? The ratio between volume stress to volume strain is called bulk modulus. What is the formula? Volume stress by volume strain. Volume stress is indicated with force by area, that is nothing but pressure. and volume strain means change in volume by original volume. Here negative sign indicates if pressure is increases, then volume is decreases. So that's why here negative sign indicates volume decreases. So next, some important note points about this bulk modulus I need to discuss now. Important note points. Here main note point is bulk modulus of solids is greater than bulk modulus of liquids is greater than bulk modulus of gases. Young's modulus only valid for solids. Okay, only valid for solids. It's not valid for liquids and gases. Now you have doubt. Why Young's modulus is only valid for solids? Why it is not valid for liquids and gases? Young's modulus means longitudinal stress by longitudinal strain. Young's modulus definition is ratio between longitudinal stress to longitudinal strain. Is it or not? So longitudinal stress indicates, it represents change in size. So Young's modulus is responsible for change in size. It's not responsible for change in shape. If you consider solids, it has particular size. It does particular size and shape. But if you consider liquids and gases, it doesn't having particular size. That's why Young's modulus is only valid for solids. It's not valid for liquids and gases because Young's modulus is responsible for or related with size of the body. Not shape of the body. Okay, next. Young's modulus, rigidity modulus, that means eta, and bulk modulus K, all are valid for solids. K is only valid for liquids and gases. K is only valid for liquids and gases. So only liquid has a property of K. Solids has property of Y and eta K. Here Y means Young's modulus, eta means rigidity modulus, K means bulk modulus. Solids has these three modulus, but liquids and gases has only one modulus, that is bulk modulus, because liquids and gases has shape, certain shape it has. Is it or not? So shape change is responsible for liquids and gases, and bulk modulus is responsible for shape change. So that's why K is only valid for liquids and gases. This is very important. Next we are move on to another important note point in bulk modulus. Compressibility. Compressibility. It is defined as reciprocal of bulk modulus. Compressibility is equal to 1 by bulk modulus. Bulk modulus is nothing but what, ma? 1 by K. Compressibility is equal to 1 by K. Okay. So units of K is Newton per meter square. Units of C Newton per meter square na. So Newton per meter square 1 by Newton per meter square. Then we got meter square per Newton. So what is the meaning for this one? Newton power minus 1 meter square. So Newton power minus 1 meter square is a unit of C. Unit of K is Newton per meter square. So this is about compressibility. Next we are move on to another note point. Isothermal compressibility or isothermal bulk modulus of gas. Isothermal bulk modulus of gas is equal to P. P means here pressure. Okay. Next, adiabatic bulk modulus of gas. Okay. So this is very important. Adiabatic bulk modulus of gas is equal to gamma P. Okay. So that is equal to gamma P. Well, to continuing my lecture on mechanical properties of solids, isothermal bulk modulus of gas is equal to P. Adiabatic bulk modulus of gas is equal to gamma P. Okay, so these two are very important. Next, if material is incompressible, then delta V is equal to 0. So delta V is equal to 0 because incompressible means it does not compress. It does not compress means it does not changes volume. If volume is does not changes means definitely change in volume is 0. Have you understood my point? Incompressible. It does not compress. It does not compress means volume does not change. Volume does not change means change in volume is equal to 0. That's why delta V is equal to 0. So this is a whole concept about bulk modulus or volume modulus. Next we are move on to another important topic. So please watch the lecture till the end. Definitely you will get clear idea about this chapter. So next we are move on to another topic. Poisson's ratio. Poisson's ratio. So very important topic this is. Very important topic. So please watch the lecture till the end. Poisson's ratio. It is ratio between lateral strain to longitudinal strain. Lateral strain to longitudinal strain. Poisson's ratio lateral contrast strain by longitudinal elongated strain. So this is very important formula. So this is indicated with this Poisson's ratio is indicated with. So this is denoted as like this. Lateral contrast strain. That means contrast means shrink. Okay. Lateral contrast strain. Shrink. That's why it is indicated with delta R by R. Delta R by R. Longitudinal elongated strain, that means delta L by L. Okay, so here negative sign indicates contrast, decreases, minimize. That is the meaning of contrast. Contrast means decreases, minimize. That is minus delta R by delta L by L. So this is Poisson's ratio. Okay, so this is a formula of Poisson's ratio. So next important note point is theoretical limits. Theoretical limits of Poisson's ratio is, so theoretical limits is minus 1 to 0.5. This is theoretical limits, but practical limits of sigma 0.2 to 0.4. If material is incompressible, then Poisson's ratio is equal to 0.5. Poisson's ratio is equal to 0.5. That means Poisson's ratio is maximum. If material is incompressible, that means delta V is equal to 0. Material is incompressible means definitely delta V is equal to 0. Incompressible, it does not compress. Volume does not change. Volume does not change means change in volume is 0. So incompressible, then sigma is equal to 0.5. So if material is incompressible, then sigma is equal to maximum. So Poisson's ratio is maximum. That value is equal to 0.5. So next relation between Poisson's ratio and two more important parameters I will discuss now. Let us consider a cylindrical rod. Cylindrical rod. Let us consider cylindrical rod. Volume V is equal to pi r square L. So differentiating on both sides. So then what we got, man? Delta V is equal to, here pi is a constant value, so r square into L. R square is taken as constant. So we know that differentiation of uv is equal to d u is constant into dv plus v is constant into du. So same formula I apply here. Differentiation of pi r square L. So how can we apply? So simple. Pi into, here delta means delta v also written as dv. dv and delta v both are same. Is it or not? So here pi r square into dl plus L into 2r into dr. So now L is constant, differentiation of 2, r square is 2r into dr. So now delta v by v is equal to pi into r square into dl by v plus L into 2r into dr into, here also pi is there, pi by v. Okay. So now delta v by v is equal to pi r square into dl by v means already we know pi r square L. Pi r square L. Next. This is also called as dv. Okay. This is also called as dv, and sometimes it can be written as delta v also. dl by L. Next, pi L into 2r into dr by pi r square L. So now pi r square going to be cancelled, pi going to be cancelled, L going to be cancelled, r square going to be cancelled. Next, what is left here? Delta v by v, otherwise you consider as dv by v. So dv by v is equal to delta v by v only. dv by v is equal to dl by L plus 2 into dr by r. So this relation is very important. So this is useful to solving numericals. This relation is useful to solve numericals. So observe carefully here. dv by v also written as delta v by v. dv by v is also written as delta v by v is equal to dl by L is written as delta L by L plus 2 into dr by r written as delta r by r. Okay, so this can be written as, this is nothing but volume strain. Volume strain is equal to, this is nothing but longitudinal strain plus 2 into, this is nothing but lateral strain. So this can be written as this. This relation is very important. Volume strain is equal to longitudinal strain plus lateral strain. Now, how can we introducing or placing this Poisson's ratio here? So simple. How we are placing Poisson's ratio here? Observe carefully. So this relation we want now. So I need some space. So Poisson's ratio concept. How can we introduce here? So we got this relation. Is it or not? So we got this relation. So that is What relation we got, ma? Delta V by V is equal to delta L by L plus 2 into delta R by R. This relation we got. So now delta V by V is equal to delta L by L plus 2 into delta R by R. This relation we got. Okay, this relation we got. Delta V by V. So this relation, we know that Poisson's ratio sigma is equal to minus delta R by R by delta L by L. Okay, so this is a formula. That means delta L by L, is it or not? Minus delta R by R. Delta R by R is equal to sigma into minus sigma into delta L by L is equal to delta R by R from this formula. So substitute delta R by R value here. So what we got here? Delta V by V. So I'll consider as this is 1 from 1. Delta V by V is equal to delta L by L plus 2 into delta R by value is minus sigma into delta L by L. Is it or not? Delta R by R value is minus sigma into delta L by L. So now substitute here. Delta V by V is equal to delta L by L is equal to delta L by L plus into minus 2 sigma into delta L by L. Okay, so from this, observe carefully. Delta V by V is equal to, if you common this delta L by L here, what we got here? 1 minus 2 sigma. 1 minus 2 sigma. This relation is very, very important. This relation is very, very important. So this relation is useful to solve numericals. Observe carefully what I got finally here. Relation between volume strain, longitudinal strain, and Poisson's ratio, So relation between volume strain, longitudinal strain and Poisson's ratio. So this is what we got here. That is equal to what we got, ma? Delta V by V is equal to delta L by L into 1 minus 2 sigma. So this is a relation. So this is very, very important. So we are using to solve numericals. So this is a whole concept about Poisson's ratio. I hope you understood this. Next we are move on to another important topic. Okay. Well, to continuing my lecture on mechanical properties of solids, now I am going to discuss a very important concept. So please observe carefully. Relation between elastic constants y, eta, k and Poisson's ratio. Observe carefully. First relation. 9 by Young's modulus y is equal to 1 by k plus 3 by eta. Here y is equal to Young's modulus. K is equal to bulk modulus. bulk modulus. Eta is nothing but rigidity modulus. Rigidity modulus. Rigidity modulus. Sigma is nothing but Poisson's ratio. Poisson's ratio. So these are the four important relations. First one is 9 by y is equal to 1 by k plus 3 by eta. Second relation is y is equal to 2 eta into 1 plus sigma. Third relation is y is equal to 3k into 1 minus 2 sigma. Sigma is equal to 3k minus 2 eta by 6k plus 2 eta. So these relations are very important to solve numericals on JEE and NEET. So please observe carefully. Okay. So these numericals note down, these formulas note down carefully. So these are very helpful to solve numericals. So next we are move on to another important topic. So please note down this. Right. Next concept is thermal force. Thermal force. Let us consider a metallic bar which is fixed between two rigid supports, and it is heated with lamp or fire, heated with fire. Okay, then thermal force exert by the rod, F is equal to YA alpha delta theta. Here Y means Young's modulus. A means area of cross section. Alpha means coefficient of linear or thermal expansion. Delta theta means change in temperature. So thermal force F is equal to YA alpha into delta theta. So now we got the thermal force formula. From this it is easy to derive thermal stress and thermal strain. So now I am going to tell thermal stress and thermal strain. So now thermal stress. thermal stress. It is defined as ratio between thermal force and area. Thermal force and area. So thermal stress is equal to thermal force by area. Thermal force means YA alpha into delta theta. So into area means A. Here A going to be cancelled. Finally we got Y alpha into delta theta. So thermal stress formula Y alpha delta theta. Y alpha delta theta. So this is thermal stress. Next we need to find thermal strain. Thermal strain. Observe carefully. Young's modulus is equal to FL by AE. Okay, FL by AE. Here F by A, otherwise you write like this. Young's modulus is equal to thermal stress by thermal strain. Thermal stress by thermal strain. So now thermal strain is equal to thermal stress by Young's modulus. So already we know thermal stress, that is Y alpha into delta theta. So again by Y. So here Y going to be cancelled. What we got? Alpha into delta theta. So thermal strain is equal to alpha into delta theta. So here alpha means coefficient of thermal expansion. Delta theta means change in temperature. Okay. So this is very, very important. Next, most important formula. Thermal energy stored in a material. Thermal energy stored in a material. Thermal energy stored in a material. Stored in a material. Thermal energy stored in a material. So that is a formula. Thermal energy is equal to half into Young's modulus into thermal stress whole square. So half into thermal stress whole square. So sorry, here small mistake. Thermal stress by Y whole square. Half into thermal stress by Y whole square. Here half into thermal stress means Y alpha into delta theta by Y whole square. So from this half into Y going to be cancelled. Finally we got alpha square into delta theta square. So that means half into alpha into delta theta whole square. That is nothing but half into thermal strain strain whole square. So finally we got thermal energy is equal to formula half into thermal stress by Y whole square. Otherwise thermal energy is equal to half into thermal strain whole square. So this is a formula of thermal energy stored in a material. So this is about overall concept of chapter mechanical properties of solids. So I already discussed all concepts regarding this chapter. So please watch my lectures. While watching my lectures, if you will get any doubt, feel free to mention in comment box. Thank you for watching my lectures. Thank you for encouraging me. Thank you so much.